Wall Street slid today as Moody's downgrades 10 banks and puts up 6 larger banks as a risk for credit squeezes. Meanwhile, we've got Reddit tokens trading on Kraken now, Bricks and Moon. Huge, and basically that's kind of a huge, crazy thing. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. Big excitement around DODO, and of course, the news on everybody's lips. Yesterday, PayPal launched their own stablecoin, PYUSD. All that and more in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome back to Breaking Bitcoin, your daily source for everything cryptocurrency trading and markets. I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic day. Hopefully everybody likes the new stream layout. We finally have a nice looking setup back. It's taken a while to get here, but I'm very happy that we have it. I can move, I can sing, I can dance, all of the things. Anyways, we've got a very exciting episode today. Bitcoin obviously on a nice tear for the day, up about 2% and taking the rest of the altcoin markets along with it. Now, we don't really have the necessary volatility or momentum signals right now to indicate any daily swing trades being initiated right now. And of course, we've talked very closely and carefully about the $30,000, $29,000 levels and just watching to see which one breaks while Bitcoin is kind of stuck in its range. However, definitely good lower time frame, like 30-minute, 15-minute time frame trades based on momentum and volatility did open up today. I think those are probably at their zenith. Price is now struggling a little bit, attempting to get really up to that $30,000 mark and struggling and waning a little bit. We see profit taking occurring in the markets. So we'll just take a sit and kind of wait and see approach today. I didn't take any active trades on Bitcoin today. The only positions that have been opened up recently have been XRP, which I posted about to the members of the premium trading group yesterday. All right. We've got, hey, good to see you guys. Alex81SG, Gravy Grits and Green, White on Rice. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining the chat. As always, if you guys have any questions, please post them in the chat. I will do my best to pay attention to it and answer them promptly. We will do chart requests after we're done with today's news and technical analysis and and a little bit of audience engagement. So hopefully you guys are doing good, and let's get right into today's TA. Okay. Whoops. Make sure this looks good. We got to shimmy this just a little bit to the left. And there we go. Okay. We have Matic up, but we're not going to be focusing on Matic today. BTC USDT on the Binance. And of course, we are going to be using our Pathways to Profit trading setup here. So again, nice big green daily candle coming in from Bitcoin, as we can see here. Nice, about 2.2% on the daily here so far. What was Bitcoin doing prior to this movement? Well, he had a lot of low volatility consolidation underneath the daily baseline, which is the whole 60 MA. So again, just that kind of we notice this trend over and over in cryptocurrency trading, that price will be stuck in a range, volatility will compress. There's a number of indicators that you can utilize to see that in yourself. One that I quite like is BBWP, which you will see in my volatility-based setup. We have BBWP, Minx as a momentum oscillator, and of course, just the simple, humble Bollinger Bands. And we'll see from this setup, we can actually see volatility being absolutely crushed. So this blue bar indicating that volatility is at an extreme low. And notice what happens the very next candle. We get a bit of an expansion, a 3% movement down, closing below the lower boundary of the Bollinger Band, which for a reversal trader is usually one of the signs that you're waiting for to pick up a long position. Notice that after that, volatility gets crushed again. We get that low mark here again, and then 2 candles of high volatility. So we didn't get that blue indicator signal right here indicating low volatility. But also notice that we really haven't achieved escape trajectory either of the Bollinger Bands. That's going to be looking for that more significant breakout of 30,000. We want to see that daily close above 30,000, indicating that we might actually get markup out of this range and a continuation of the overall bullish trend that we've been experiencing. So far, we haven't seen that. We're just coming up and testing and teasing the upper boundaries of this Bollinger Band. So again, watching to see if we do close above the Bollinger Band tomorrow. So kind of as you'll notice here, this signal here was price falling below the Bollinger Band. And as soon as it did that, snatching up the buy was important. So for the next couple of days, or perhaps today or tomorrow, what's going to be very interesting to pay attention to is, and what I think the more cautious trader should do, is wait for this daily close above the upper boundary of the Bollinger Bands. I think would be quite good. And then on the very next candle, if we start to continue moving up, by the breakout. If, however, we notice that price begins to immediately pull back, then that's your opportunity to get a better entry or to add to your hedge short position or your just overall short position for a positional trade. Okay, getting back to our pathways to profit type setup, we'll also see that this confirms what we just saw as well. Because when we trade with the pathways to profit structure, a PTP structure, we need all of our indicators to fire. We don't ignore them. We put them together in a system for a reason, because it helps us avoid losing trades and it helps us identify winning trades, but more importantly, to avoid losing trades. There's always opportunities to trade. You can always press the buy button. You can always press the sell button. But when to do it, that is what makes one a successful or an unsuccessful trader. Knowing the right time to make those decisions and only trading when the odds are in your favor. Katniss Everdeen. So let's roll. So in this situation, we actually don't have a long signal from Minx because we don't have a rising explosion level and we don't even have positive delta above the explosion level line. This would be this green column right here. So we want to see a green column above the explosion level line. And we also want the explosion level line to be colored yellow, indicating that it is rising. And that is our volume and volatility filter that I've implemented into the system. And we don't see any of that. So, so far, just a simple, humble baseline crossover and a Minx crossover as well. Okay, on the daily time frame. Or excuse me, going back to the weekly time frame. We are hedged short. Why are we hedged short? Because 85% of the time, when price closes underneath the weekly baseline, price continues heading south. All right, for at least one candle. All right, 85% of the time. In fact, all of the historical examples going back to 2017, except for this right here. This is the first time since 2017 the price has closed below the weekly baseline and then immediately reversed. Okay, so we're going to see within the next week whether we get a repeat of about a month and a half ago or conformity with the historical average, which is continued movement downward. Either way, I think the principled position, I think the principled trade here is the hedge short. That is where I am at. And waiting to see exactly how this volatility plays out for BTC. But it is exciting. It is exciting to see price climb, a nice little 2% pop on the daily. But again, we've seen this before and no desire to be trapped here. Looking at the reversal system again, we're just going to see the exact same thing. We had actually seen that ISA spot was almost oversold in this area. Okay. And we were getting kind of weak oversold buy signals here from Laguerre PPO as well as Williams VIX Fix. But yeah, no super strong signals, just mild signals. Okay. And I think for this type of trade and these types of signals, if you had taken a position like looking, Bitcoin's at support, we're at the lower end of the Bollinger Bands, I see wicks, hammer candles. Okay. All of those are fine. All of those are fine justifications to take a position. But I think we're probably nearing the profit taking area right here for that position because it was just a mild swing. We haven't achieved escape trajectory out of either resistance or support here. Okay. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, did we really have anything here? We did. We had a pretty good signal. Let's find it here. 4-hour time frame, we cross over and a rising explosion level on the very next candle. So there we go. That's pretty good. And within, very close in distance to the baseline, which is what we always want to see when we're trying to enter into a trending trade. We want to be entering close to our baseline as possible. Because that's going to help us avoid losing trades or reduce the loss of the losing trade significantly. Often, if price runs, you don't want to be chasing price. So we haven't made a new higher high on the 4-hour. Okay, that's up here at 30,044. So again, we want to be on the lookout for these reversals and just be very cautious at this point in time. But so far, this is actually looking pretty strong. Nice full bodies and no rejection or reversal yet. Okay. 4-hour time frame is looking a little overbought. The hourly time frame is looking quite overbought. It does look like a little bit of steam is coming out of the market here on the hourly. We're getting big wicks to the upside. Wicks are often the first indication that momentum is waning and slowing down. We've also got a bit of decline here in WADA. Notice how the columns are grayed out now. They are, and that is indicating that our columns are now moving down instead of rising. That is an early warning sign. Although the traditional way to wait and close the trade out is to wait until the column actually trades below the explosion level if you've entered into a trade based off WADA. That is the way that indicator is supposed to work. Okay, on the 30-minute time frame, again, we can also see a little bit of that exhaustion. Notice that price has kind of reached resistance here at the 29.9 level. And we've actually got regular bearish divergence here on the 30-minute time frame as well as along with waning WADA. And kind of getting down here, 15-minute, we haven't broken the trend yet. I would be watching for a breakdown of this Hall 60 on the 15-minute chart to potentially look for a short position today, looking to take price down on a pullback. We didn't really get it here. Like this was maybe an okay trade, barely any profits to be taken here. But yeah, we really haven't seen, this is basically the run that we've seen today, starting off at about 10.15 yesterday and just continuing to climb up. We hit this level of resistance for quite a while before making two now up thrusts up, and now quite a bit of resistance here going on. Looking at open interest, I want to see here. Let's see. Yeah, so we saw open interest rising throughout this last half of the pump. But then, yeah, here, so this is interesting. Notice here on this latest up thrust, all right, the complete dropping of open interest, right? The complete dropping of open interest. Now, on the flip side, though, CVD has been very powerful to the buy side. So this indicates that buyers are in control. However, what is also more important to me is to notice that funding is flipping negative, all right? Funding is flipping negative. When funding is flipping negative, it indicates that more individuals are taking on short positions than long positions. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. So Tyler saying on Bitcoin with the 5-day or the weekly, on the weekly time frame or the 5-day time frame, with when volatility is low, if the daily closes above the range, it's a really good long. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep. Let's see here. White on rice. I'm great at telling us what's already happened. Thank you. I love compliments. Now tell us what's going to happen. Again, I don't possess powers of prediction, right? Unfortunately, that is what everybody wants. I can tell you what is likely to happen, though, and I can tell you what I think the principal trade is. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting, though. So this drop in open interest is usually an early warning sign of weakness. It's divergence. But with CVD being very powerful to the upside, this is pretty interesting. Now, one might argue that we could be setting up a bit of a short squeeze scenario, indicating that there is a lot of fuel to continue pushing higher here and really grab shorts. But I think that unfortunately that scenario might look just like this, right? Those tend to look like this. So we've seen this before. We've seen an up thrust like this before out of this range, and it was pretty brutal. So we're going to see. We're getting very close to that point now, and we've had 1, 2, 3. This would be our fourth lower high, all right? If we're not counting this one. This is not a lower high, but 1, 2, 3. This would be our fourth lower high if we're unable to clear that. And if we're unable to clear that, I think we're probably heading lower, probably definite breakdown of 28 this week. Yeah. Okay. Ethereum. And, you know, I promise that I will get individual scenes for the different assets. But right now, we're just going to deal with it. All right. Let's see here. Jumping forward. Okay. Great. Ethereum on the weekly time frame, very similar to Bitcoin here, obviously. In fact, a little weaker than Bitcoin here. Ethereum is not performing as well as Bitcoin today. 1.62% for the entire week. And on the daily, we have a humble 1.7%, not even above the daily baseline. So this would actually be a very nice potential reversal baseline bounce setup. This is when price is below the baseline or above the baseline. And when it returns to it, we use that level as a dynamic area of support and resistance. So here is a good example, a little bit of a treacherous example of a reversal baseline bounce trade where we just simply buy at the baseline, it holds above, and we take profit at 1 ATR. That's it. When we do reversal baseline bounces, we're not really looking for big swing trades. We're simply looking to kind of get in and get out. Or at least that's the way that I do it. Okay, yeah. So potential weekly reversal baseline bounce setup on the daily. Nothing on the weekly. The weekly wouldn't occur until maybe 1950, 1970 is the price we would have to rise to for that potential movement. Let's see here. No signals on the daily. Did we even get one? Yeah, we did get a short signal here for Ethereum, which played out. No signal right now, though. All right, so nothing too much. And we talked about, of course, we always talk about Ethereum, Bitcoin. You know, should we be holding Ethereum? Should we be holding Bitcoin? And very simply right now, you should be holding Bitcoin over Ethereum. Ethereum is basically a stable coin at this point in time relative to Bitcoin. It's been this way since 2021. But no significant advancements, and there are a few opportunities when holding Ethereum over Bitcoin is profitable, and that is trying to time these dips, trying to buy on these lows and take it up to these highs, right? So we've had this range basically between 0.08 and 0.05 for 2 years now. A little bit over 2 years now, because this is May 2021, all right? And previously, before that, we were stuck in this range. So yes, we have made a bit of improvements over the 2 years or the 3 year span from 2018 to 2021, but because we are holding at a much higher range, but no significant breakouts or establishment to a higher range. So again, the best way to trade at the Bitcoin in this way, in my opinion, is just to wait for kind of these low dips, and we might be coming up on one right now. We might be coming up on one route. We are getting relatively close to support here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically right here, with only one previous example, and this was in June of 2022, when we reached this this lowest divergence away from median price of Ethereum to Bitcoin. Okay, so I don't see any plays to make on the weekly. I don't see any plays to make on the daily. 4 hour time frame, we did get a long signal here. Okay, that's probably hit TP1 already, so that's looking good. No new high on the daily. No new high on the daily, so no breakouts. All right, in fact, same thing with Bitcoin. This could be a higher low or a lower high if this is as far as we go. Let's see here. On the hourly, we got a long signal. We got several of them. First one would have been here. And then you got a subsequent one here. And a subsequent one here. So either way, on the hourly, good opportunities to continue taking price up. I like to see that. On the 30-minute time frame, yeah, multiple signals. Again, here, here, and here. And I think probably, unless we're going to continue running, I think probably the principal trade at this point in time is likely going to be a short, taking price back down at least to the baseline, about a 1% trade, about a $14 decline in Ethereum. Let's see here. White on Rice asks, what VPN do I use? I utilize Windscribe, although I really don't use a VPN too much anymore. I don't need to. Now I trade on an exchange that lets me not have to use a VPN. But when I do use a VPN, I do use Windscribe. I highly recommend it. There is a link in our links channel in our Discord. And if you use that link, not only will it help the channel out, but you'll get free stuff. You get free bandwidth. Otherwise, you normally have to pay for it. But you get like an extra 30 gigabytes or something like that if you use the link, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Tyler's saying, take a look at the NASDAQ. I'm not following it minute by minute anymore. It looked toppy last time I checked. It was looking toppy the last time. I've been watching the ES futures all morning. And, after a 2% drop in the SPY this morning, it's rallied a little bit here toward mid-market day. Tyler's saying Fed meeting in 48 hours. Am I right? Everything probably sideways until then. Yep. And then a big burst of volatility and then price reverses direction. Let's see here. Alex81SG says, since Bitcoin is more heavily manipulated, why not shorting weaker alts when we believe that BTC is heading down instead of shorting BTC itself? Well, yeah, so I think I would just disagree with that statement that Bitcoin is more heavily manipulated. I think that Bitcoin is probably the least... Well, okay, obviously levels here, right? There's levels to this. I would say that Bitcoin is probably the least manipulated cryptocurrency out there. And the reason why is just because it's so massive. It is the hardest to manipulate. Now, obviously, we know... I don't want to say we know, but there's very strong corollary evidence to indicate that Tether, for example, and Binance have been in cahoots manipulating the price of Bitcoin up during both bull markets. Something I don't think any of us are mad about. That's why we don't talk about it that much, right? Yeah, print more Tether. Let's go pump this shit, right? But yeah, I mean, just like, for example, so I'm putting out a video this week called 5 Shocking Secrets of Cryptocurrency Trading. Wait for that in your notification feed. And one of the topics I talk about in that video is the whale effect, right? How whales use their influence and large amounts of cryptocurrency and sometimes social influence within a project to manipulate price to their own benefit. A really good example of this is, of course, Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu was already pumping, and then there was several whales who made multi-million-dollar buys. One whale bought, I think, $160 million worth of SHIB. And this led to just a frenzy of retail individuals buying up SHIB. And then the next week, it absolutely dumped and cratered and hasn't gone back up since. So I think that it is much easier to manipulate just quantitatively. It's just much easier to manipulate a smaller token. And I think that they're manipulated probably very frequently. Whereas with Bitcoin, I mean, we're talking about a lot of collusion. So that's the first part. So to the second part of your question, why should we not short weaker alts? I think you absolutely can. And in fact, this is a great trading strategy. So all you have to do is get access or make your own a correlation coefficient, right? There, in fact, there's an indicator. There's several indicators online, but I think that there are better web-based correlation coefficient indicators for the cryptocurrency markets. And what you want to identify is you want to identify the cryptocurrencies that are most heavily correlated to Bitcoin. So they have a correlation coefficient closest to 1. 1 would be a perfect correlation or a perfect linear correlation. -1 would be a completely inverse linear correlation. 0 meaning that they're the closer to 0 that the number is, it means that there's no correlation whatsoever. So you'd want to find something with a high correlation to Bitcoin, and then just short that instead of shorting Bitcoin. The upside is that when you're right, you're probably going to make more because it's going to be a larger price movement. But when you're, of course, wrong, you will be losing more because you are trading a higher asset. So it's the exact same trade with a higher beta. All right. Beta is, risk and return. So it's the exact same trade, just higher beta. So I think that's completely fine. Yeah. So yeah, Tyler's saying that there is a good, Bali has a good correlation coefficient on TradingView that you can utilize. Bali Poor. And, so, and then to put my personal take on that, so you absolutely could. I think that you should run and could run, you just do a binomial experiment, right? Binomial meaning there's only two outcomes, right? It's either better or it's worse in this particular example. So I think we could test this theory by setting up two trading accounts. And in the first trading account, whenever we get a short signal on Bitcoin, we short Bitcoin. And in the second trading account, whenever we get the exact same short signal on Bitcoin, we short whatever asset we've chosen to short based on its correlation coefficient to Bitcoin. And then you just see at the end of the month which strategy was more profitable, right? And then the one that is more profitable, you trade with that. Obviously, there could be quite a bit of math here to crunch, but I will just say I just trade Bitcoin for the most part, and there's good reasons for that. And, I'm sure it's just going to come down to preference, right? It's just going to come down to preference. Let's see here. 6G says you can manipulate the price of Bitcoin up and down by $1,000 with just 500 or 1,000 BTC. Create liquidations, make money for the exchange. Yeah, I mean, this is their daily bread. This is their daily bread. But for a retail individual, that's not really our strategy. You have to really be in that space to get going with that. Dude's a jerk, but makes good indicators. Hey, don't talk about me like that. Just kidding. So I asked the wife long or short today. She said, how about wide? Yeah, man. You got to be doing those pelvic floor exercises, dude. Come on. Thank you, Hilton Owen. And thank you, Kitimbo Timothy, for the subscriptions to our YouTube channel. I appreciate that. Am I longing the break of 30K? Yes, but it's not that simple. So I do want to see the daily close above 30K and then continue moving upwards. I'm very speculative about breaking 30K and then immediately reversing. I'm not trying to get roped into a bad trade. But in general, yes, longing breaks of 30K. Because we're in a bullish uptrend, right? We're in an overall bullish uptrend. And so when you are presented with the opportunity to continue trading in that direction, you go, right? Ideally with a signal. All right, so looking like price is reversing a little bit here on the lower time frames. Sorry, guys. Pressed the wrong button there. Big market fake out right now, Cryptonomics says, as far as stocks are concerned. Yeah, so let's actually get to, I don't have the articles pulled up, but I do want to talk about, let's talk about what we wanted to talk about today. In fact, I think we'll probably see this. So we'll look at the ES mini futures here. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. These are, honestly, I think if you want to trade stocks or if you want to trade indices, you shouldn't. I think you should trade futures. If you want to day trade, day trade traditional assets, then trading the micro E-mini futures, either the ES or the NQ mini micro futures, is probably your best bet. For a variety of reasons. One, liquidity. One, very low slippage. 3, very low, if non-existent fees. 4, reasonable lot sizes that you can actually comprehend. And the market just moves, right? The volatility occurs in the indices. So my recommendation for those who want to dip their toe into stock trading is don't. Go get a futures trading account and trade ES and NQ mini futures, micro futures. Mini futures if you have money for it, but that's $100 a pip, a tick. So those high risk, high reward. And options, I typically don't recommend options to traders. Okay, so I want to get this. No, not F. I want, here we go. So this is from Reuters. Wall Street drops as bank rating downgrades trigger wider sell-off. Whoever wrote that title does not know how to use conjunctions. Okay, so we did see a slide, mostly with stocks. We saw a big slide in stocks today, as well as 2% decline in the S&P overall. And this is because Moody's, who is one of the 3 credit rating agencies, they came out and they downgraded 10 small to mid-sized lenders by one notch. So like from AAA to AA, or from AA to single A. And in addition to, so obviously them cutting the credit ratings of these banks indicates that they think that they are now more risky to lend money to, or to, in other words, engage with. And this is because of the huge credit crunch that's going through. And then, of course, the the EU just issued this massive warning to the United States, essentially, because what we have been seeing throughout 2023, or at least for the last like 3 months or so, is that we were seeing inflation steadily go down. All right. And this was true in both America and in the European Union. We were seeing inflation steadily go down. But the EU's CPI, core price index, that just rose this month to a new high, higher than we would ever seen before. So the EU had basically issued this warning saying that, hey, Americans, if you think that inflation is over, you're wrong. It's not over, right? The inflation is being brewed in the depths of the bowels of El Diablo and being spread amongst us by the central bankers. But yeah. Anyways, so this just indicates that this credit crunch is not over, that this banking crisis is not over, that we still have bank runs to see, bank crises to see, headlines to see about banks closing down or losing funds. Now, Brandon Pizzurro, who is the director of public investments at Guidestone Capital Management, said, and I quote, "Markets are slowly digesting that maybe, just maybe, the U.S. financial system is not absolutely perfect. And maybe we are going to have higher rates for a much longer period of time." So potentially still high rates, more banking woes. And what effect is this going to have on Bitcoin? I mean, fundamentally, it's a great thing for Bitcoin because it offers Bitcoin the opportunity to shine and provide a safe haven to capital and users and attract new users. That sounds good. I don't think it's really going to work that way. Really, the adoption and innovation for Bitcoin is happening on the edges. It really is happening in the third world countries. Those who don't have, a good traditional financial system, or those who are unbanked. I think that's where the actual growth and spread is actually happening. All right. So, in addition to this, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the fact that we are going to continue in this regime of uncertainty, fear, credit rating declines, bank runs, bank instability, do you think this is a good or a bad thing for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin prepared to step in and fill that void? Can it even? Do people even want to switch to Bitcoin? Now, we're about to talk about PayPal USD, okay? And before we talk about PayPal USD, I do want to talk about Mike Novogratz. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Mike Novogratz. And he's just fun to watch, guys. He's just fun to watch. So Mike Novogratz, he just did, obviously he runs Galaxy Digital. And Galaxy Digital just had their second quarter earnings conference. And he said, when he was asked about Tether, he said that he feels that the risks of a major run on Tether with a market value of $84 billion is minimal, right? So expressing quite a bit of confidence in Tether, although he did say that there might be some little skirmishes based on the fact of how they're set up and the fact that they're offshore and all these kind of things. And America doesn't like that. But he's like, I don't think there's going to be a run on Tether, right? There's too many people use it. It's too widespread throughout the market. First mover advantage, just like Bitcoin, all of those things. All right. Okay. So let's talk about I'm pulling up their press release right here. If it'll load. There we go. So this is PayPal's official press release. The big news, what's the scuttlebutt on everybody's lips, is the fact that PayPal has launched their own US dollar stablecoin. All right. It's called PYUSD, stands for PayPal USD. And it is built, so here's the good. It's built on the Ethereum network. It's pegged 1-to-1 to the value of the US dollar. And so that's the good. There's one other good thing, but I'm going to mention that in a second. So what's the potential bad? Hold on, I don't like this. I want to. There we go. So what's the potential bad? The potential bad here is, of course, this is now another network where you have a centralized institution that has the ability to cut off your access to the network, freeze your funds, move your funds along, move your funds away from you if ordered by law, for example. So this sort of command and control sort of blockchain or sort of system is not what we believe in cryptocurrency. It is against the ethos of cryptocurrency, where we are looking for decentralized, distributed, no centralized control, permissionless. PayPal USD is neither of these things. It's not permissionless. It's centrally controlled. But so that's all the bad. But here's the good. I think the good long term. We got to think about the good long term. The good long term is, obviously, PayPal is a massive US company. It's not going anywhere. They had already introduced the ability to purchase crypto through PayPal. So this was cool. Just like the Cash App, which I think was huge for adoption out there. But the big thing here is that in their launch of, hold on, let's talk about one more bad. Although maybe it's not so bad, but the PayPal USD is being issued by Paxos. Paxos is in charge of the issuance and management of the stablecoin. And of course, Paxos previously was doing the exact same job for BUSD, which was Binance's US dollar stablecoin. And we all know how that ended earlier this year. Regulators shut BUSD down and Paxos stopped issuing it. Now with PYUSD, I just can't say PYUSD. It just makes me think of like a big old like Pi meme coin, Yeah, that's what I keep thinking about. But with PYUSD, the difference here is that PayPal is, in their paperwork, legally obligated to redeem PYUSD for a US dollar. Legally obligated. Which means we now have perhaps, maybe not yet, but we now have potentially a more firm and secure and stable fiat on and off ramp. Okay, because that's one of the biggest concerns when you get into cryptocurrency. Like, okay, I'm going to put all this money into the computer and make all this digital money. And at what point or how can I then take my money and convert it back into real US dollars? Well, obviously we have fiat on and off ramps with Coinbase, Kraken, all the centralized exchanges, for example. But now we have PayPal USD, which I think could be a big boon for fiat on and off ramping. All right. And alleviate a major concern for, I think, bigger pocketed traders and investors in cryptocurrency. So I don't think that, while I don't think that PayPal USD is going to be anything revolutionary or introduce any form of new technology or anything like that, it's just good to have it. Okay. I think it's good to have this off-ramp system. And I think it's going to work right along with Coinbase. Coinbase had already added PayPal withdrawals like a year ago or so. And so, yeah, for all these reasons, I think it's a pretty good thing. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. Next, we want to talk about let's just pull up this article from CoinDesk. Although I'd really like to see Kraken's official. But are you guys fans of Reddit? Huh? Do you guys like engaging or shit posting on r/cryptocurrency? What about r/FortniteBR? Any Fortniters in the house? All right. Well, FortniteBR, r/FortniteBR is a big Fortnite subreddit. Hold on, I'm having some issues with my this CoinDesk article just does not want to load, so we're going to pick a different article. Apologies. Let's see here. Image results for Kraken bricks. Yeah, I want to see that. Oh, it didn't show me the Kraken bricks. Aw, boo. since this is a Reddit-based article. Yeah, so that's so funny, right? So this is the Reddit article from 17 days ago, and Kraken support's like, hey, this article that you guys are talking about where it's saying we're going to list bricks and moons, like, no, we haven't done that, man. Like, you can refer to our list where you can see all the tokens we list, and then we go look at the token and like, well, there's bricks, right, on the Arbitrum 1 network, and moons. Moons, there it is, on the Arbitrum 1 network. So if you bricks is the native currency, it's a cryptocurrency of the r/Fortnite BR subreddit, okay? And Kraken listed moons because with Arbitrum Nova, you have the ability to bridge tokens from whatever your Reddit wallet into your MetaMask wallet, and then send those to Kraken where you can trade. And this led to big price surges. So I know that I think it was Brick shot up 76%. I think Moons went up 60%. Obviously, Moons is the native cryptocurrency of the r/cryptocurrency subreddit. So highly recommend, if you're not part of those subreddits, joining and trying to grab some Moons. But yeah, you will need to be familiar with MetaMask. You will need to add Arbitrum Nova to your MetaMask so that you can do the bridging process. But these are now available to trade on Kraken. So good for Kraken, dipping its toes in, doing something a little bit different. I think this is pretty cool. By the way I know these things is I just pay attention. I have several scanners that run all the time, and they let me know, hot topics in the cryptocurrency markets. What topics are trending on Reddit, Telegram, Twitter, X now. And so, yeah, I just pay attention to those things. For that very same reason, the other thing that I'm looking at right now, and let's actually switch to the big chart. The thing that I'm watching right now is DODO. All right, so we're going to look at DODO here in just a second. But before we get started, I'm just going to scroll through the chat and respond to the messages I haven't responded to. Alex says that the NASDAQ today did a textbook gap fill. The S&P missed it by a little. They might go back down for it after the CPI. Yeah, so gap fill to the downside. Yep. Haven Peck says, can the corporations develop on-chain? The retail people, even though I'm one, don't really matter. Okay. Can the corporations develop on-chain? Yes, they certainly can. The answer to that is yes. Can I just make up a dollar coin? Of course you can. Crypto can exist without... Yeah, of course. Of course crypto can exist without PayPal. It's just more fiat on and off ramps is good. Nobody in their right minds wants to switch to Bitcoin. Just Novogratz and Saylor are all... Yeah. Remember the manipulation of Tether by them. Also, anytime a centralized entity creates a crypto like this, it can be manipulated greatly. Yes. They used to call it pre-mining back in the day. They don't even mine these tokens anymore. They just print them, right? Let's see here. Haven says, wouldn't a true metaverse kill through meeting space? But I bought Moons the day Crow listed them just to pump and dump. Yeah, I think so. I like the idea of the metaverse. Obviously, the ability to kind of meet virtually with people. The technology just needs to come a long way, right? Like the big thing is nobody wants to wear this like big headset because you don't want to be disconnected from reality. You want an augmentation of reality, right? So I'm a big advocate for augmented reality, and then just for what they're trying to do with the headsets and whatnot. Like I get all that. That's fine, but if I'm going to be immersed in something, I want to be fully immersed. Okay. I don't want to just be a little immersed. I want to be fully immersed. So I want to plug in like the Matrix, and once that happens, I want no realization that I'm in my body anymore. I want to be somewhere else in a different body with lasers for arms. You know what I mean? Like all the things, the ability to fly around and like Homelander, basically be just like Homelander, psychopathy and all. Yeah, from The Voice. So so I think that the idea of VR or virtual reality, I think the technology as far as neurochemistry needs to go a very, very, very long way till we have something like Total Recall, essentially, or the Matrix. And then for augmented reality, again, the technology just needs to come a little bit farther to where, you know, I can wear like you know, we need Google glasses or the Apple glasses, but just better, right? Where I can put them on and I can virtually see things. Augmented reality, I think it's where it's at. That's actually gonna, I think, improve life. Neither is BTC. Its price is centrally controlled. Moon 4x and Bricks 20x in the past 3 weeks already. Yeah, so big moves from Moons and Bricks. Big moves from the Reddit coins. And I think this is good because like I'm on r/cryptocurrency quite a bit, and I've just seen people like nonstop talking about Moons this and Moons that for months, it seems. So good for them. All right, so let's talk about DODO. So DODO's on my scanner today. It's getting a lot of social activity. So let's start off with the chart. All right, so let's start off with the chart. We'll start off with the weekly chart. The weekly chart, of course, does not look super hot yet, pretty much down only. But of course, if we look a little closer, we will see that there have been some pretty big price movements, like obviously this week where we went up 75%. And this week where we did go up, peak to trough this week, was 88%. Now we're only up 30%, so we have given back about 50% of those gains here on the weekly. Notice also that this weekly candle is interesting because we are, 1, crossing above the baseline potentially. 2, Minx is crossing above the zero line. And we also have a WADA bar above the explosion level, but we don't have a rising explosion level. And we haven't actually closed above the daily baseline, or the weekly baseline, excuse me. So definitely opportunities for momentum if DODO can actually rally a little bit more and close up. On the daily time frame, yeah, pretty much just big explosion out of nowhere. And I think, yeah, unfortunately, I think the profit taking has come in. Now, that's not to say that we can't see continuation out of this, but this looks probably donezo. Yeah. This looks probably donezo. Yeah. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. What do we see? Yeah, so big move up, big move down. So actually, I do think that the principal trade here is probably looking for this aftershock pump. I think we can get 13 maybe % out of DODO. Doesn't look like it's on Bybit. Finance, MEXC, BitGet, DigFinex, Gate. It's on Gate. BitTrue. It's on KuCoin. Yeah, so we could definitely take the trade on KuCoin. And I actually like the look of that. Yeah, I actually kind of like the look of this. So I'm going to save this. And this is a potential trade that I'll be taking today. Maybe just very short term, looking for this aftershock pump. We did just hit oversold here on the 30-minute time frame. So yeah, just basically looking for an aftershock pump here. So yeah, that's definitely on my maybe list today. Looking for this DODO position. Okay, so I want to bring that up because it was on my scanner. I actually hadn't looked at it until the stream. But yeah, this does look like the big forward momentum is gone. That's just so much profit taking. I don't really want to touch that as far as the swing trade. But I'll do the intraday swing up, right? Pull back, aftershock pump, swing failure pattern, and then lower low, and then maybe short. Honestly, just the name Moons would hit a bit, even if it was fake. Yeah, what was DODO doing before the BTC rip? Be careful. It was coming down, right? Well, no, not really. Like, the BTC 4-hour candle is really strong. Yeah. So what was DODO doing during the BTC rip? It was moving down. Yeah. Yeah, it was moving down. Let's see here. All right, CVD is continuing to climb, but not as rapidly, and open interest has definitely flattened out here on BTC. Ooh, do we have a rise? Oh, we've got a rising explosion level now. That's so cool. So this actually might be a daily swing long if we close like this. Very cool. We might get to make some money today, boys. All right, let's see. How long have we been streaming? About 54 minutes. You're a better trader than I could touch. Thank you guys so much. All right, cool. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to hit you guys with some ads now. It helps us support the show. Like, I'm not going to play ads for you. I'm just going to tell you about how you can evolve with the community. And then any chart requests or questions, now's the time. Because I've got stuff to do. Okay. First things first. First thing you guys should do, if you guys enjoy the content, you want to see the stream come back every single day, you want to learn more about cryptocurrency every single day, obviously, if you're on YouTube, give us a subscription and like this video. That really does help out. You guys have no idea how much it actually helps out. It takes you guys 5 seconds. If you're on Twitch or DLive, giving us a follow or subscription over there is always greatly appreciated. And as those communities grow, we'll try to do more to focus on those communities as well. If you are struggling with your trading, and if you just want to improve your trading, if you don't know anything about trading with a strategy, which is how we trade, I highly recommend you get my free guide, The 5 Mistakes Holding You Back from Profitable Trading. There's a link down in the description. It's completely free. It'll walk you through the 5 most common mistakes I see traders make and give you actionable information to make some corrections in your own strategy. If that's helpful to you, there is a $7 guide that will help you build your own strategy for the first time. And then if you really want hands-on mentoring, access to our signals, our indicators, our entire community, consider joining the premium trading group. The link for that is also down in the description. Otherwise, you can copy trade me on Fairdesk, make money when I make money, lose money when I lose money. Link for that is also in the description. So you guys have been absolutely amazing. And I will now look over and I will see chart requests. Yes. So Alex81SG wants to look at optimism. I love looking at optimism. Actually, optimism's pretty decent this week. So let's go look at optimism. Yes, PYUSD has been on a nice climb on the daily. All right, we can see this. Oh, interestingly enough, this was actually, yeah, this was actually a signal. So that's cool. And we maintain above the baseline. This is probably a trade, unfortunately, that gets faked out. But then nice continuation right here. And we do get some nice follow through on this trend. We are a little bit closer to being overbought than oversold right now, and we are flirting with the baseline right now. Right now, I think obviously the principal decision would be a reversal baseline bounce, subtly adding to your position right here because we are interacting with the baseline right now. So I would look for continuation right here, and then just tight invalidation if we end up trading back down below that daily baseline. Let's see here. Yeah, so we achieved escape velocity over this previous range between 60 cents and $1.30. So we're holding good at $1.69 right now. So this is good. Significant resistance. Yeah, I mean, we are kind of in a zone of resistance, right? Here, previous support, previous resistance, previous supports here. But it's a zone, and we can see this with VRVP, of course. So actually notice that we might be moving from a period of a high volume node here. And this is actually a big low volume node gap. All right. Price does not like to be in low volume nodes. We either peek our head in reverse, which is always what I assume we're going to do here, or we barrel through to the next one. Depending on what Bitcoin does, we might have the momentum to do that. But of course, if Bitcoin fakes out and reverses, then we're just going to plunge right back into this area. So, okay. So having said that, yeah, I would take the principled reversal baseline bounce and see if we can get the aftershock pump right here. But I would be booking profits here. Yeah, I'd be booking profits here. I'd be booking profits here. And, you know, strong daily close into this zone. It's always weird when I use my drawing tools. I apologize. But the next targets could be up here around $2. Actually, sorry, I got to get all that. Next target could be up here at about $2, $2.14. That's the next high volume node. Optimism sees 300% spike in daily transactions. So there's been a significant uptick in transactions on Optimism the past month. The 300% increase. So a lot of use on Optimism. Yeah. Transactions increased by 67% after the Bedrock upgrade, which reduced deposit times, reduced layer 1 costs, and included additional security features. And let's see here. The bearish death cross pattern formed on the OP daily chart further aided its declines. In late May, the OP price declined to trade below its daily moving average, where it remains to the present. Is that true? Is that still true now? I don't think so. I don't think that's still true now. It doesn't remain underneath that. It's not underneath the 50 moving average. It's not. The only thing it's underneath is, there we go. I don't know why I took my EMAs away. Yeah, I mean, we're above all major moving averages. The only the only moving average we're below is the 200 simple moving average on the daily. Yeah. In fact, we're in the middle of an edge-to-edge trade. So 200 SMA up here at about $1.98, almost $2. So, you know, we could hit $2. We could hit $2, and that would be that breakthrough trade. Let's see here. And you want me to look at Unity Software, which is a stock, of course. Yeah, so I'm profit taking on Optimism. Unity Software Incorporated, New York Stock Exchange. Ooh, interesting. Okay. First things first. On the daily time frame. All right, so we got, okay, here are a couple things here, right? So let's just look at the most recent trading. No reversal baseline, or excuse me, no short signal until this candle right here. and then price reverses, reversal baseline bounce re-add here, and then price moves down. Minx is now oversold, and we are printing a hammer candle on the daily. This does look like a buy to me. This is a reversal buy, trying to take price up maybe to the daily baseline, but we don't even need to do that. We can just simply put on Quadrigo. First target would be 41.40, 43.91, and 46.42. So I kind of like the look of this buy, but maybe it's only because I can see this hammer candle led to an up move as well. Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade the reversal, I see it, but I mean, we're below the baseline, so I would be a little nervous, especially because we can see that the baseline is rounding out and averaging out. We do have a bottom feeder signal. Yeah, bottom feeder signal, which these have been very good. The last three have been banger. 41.31 is where bottom feeder wants to take the position, and validation at 35.24. So all hail bottom feeder. There we go. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate those requests. Sean Daly says, thoughts on Solana and SHIB? Sure, man. Solana. Okay, yeah, so Solana is interesting because Solana is up today like 6.44%. So it's one of the top performers today for daily growth. Yeah, see Solana up here about 7.1% according to Crypto Bubbles. Up 4% on the week, so we take everything into consideration here. Solana is interesting. So we just had a nice run on Solana. Pullback, we're now below the daily baseline, which is bearish, double bottom and pushing back up. I want to see price. I think so in the short term, obviously there's kind of a reversal like double bottom trade back up here to resistance, which is just a little bit beyond us, like 25.56 is probably all I would hold that trade to. If you're in it, I would be looking to take profits right around the daily baseline. And then principally, I'd be looking to short here initially. If price does not close above the daily baseline, if it just comes up here and like teases with it, I would take a short. But if we can see price above 26, yeah, all right, let me get an exact number for you. Above 26.10, if we can get a daily close above 26.10, we might be setting up for a swing long. But I'm very speculative about Solana pushing much higher than $27 right here. I just, yeah, I don't believe it. Yeah. Okay, SHIB. We were just talking about SHIB, and I'll be talking about SHIB quite a bit. SHIB's been decent. I think you can hold SHIB longs here. There's nothing wrong with holding SHIB longs. We're above the daily baseline. What's the weekly look like on SHIB? Yeah, SHIB's good too because we just crossed above on the weekly. We don't have the WADA signal, but that's fine. Sometimes we ignore that on the weekly. Let's see here. Yeah, and depending on when you bought your SHIB, this might not be a bad idea to take a little bit of profit. Like if we were able to score down here, because we just had a nice push, only, like 10, 15, 20%. Move your stop loss to break even now that price is actually moving in our favor. I would be very careful about any closes below 845. If we close below 845, I would be out. And other than that, I would just look for continuation in SHIB. I mean, it looks good. This could be a swing failure pattern again. Big pump, immediate pullback. We haven't made any progress on it so far. So yeah, I would probably long anything at or around 843, and I would exit the position if price goes below 845, like I said. So daily baseline, very important here. Thank you very much, Mr. Sean Daly. Mr. Dragon's channel says, could you make an update follow-up video on how to set settings for following your copy trades over at Fairdesk? Yeah, absolutely. I use 7x leverage. So I generally recommend setting the setting to use traders leverage. I don't open up a bunch of positions at any one individual time, so there's really no issues with that. In general, the thing about Fairdesk is it gives you a lot of options for customization. So if you want to customize it to suit your risk tolerance, that's really on you. Otherwise, I generally just recommend for individuals to use my settings, to not change anything. You're more than welcome to. And I think if you can give me, you could actually help me out. I appreciate this. And if you don't see this right now, or if you don't have time to do it right now, that's fine. If you hop in our Discord, you could also send me a message, either in general chat or send me a DM. And just let me know specifically like what settings you're curious about, which ones you would change and what you think would affect. But thank you for following me as a copy trader. I appreciate that, and thank you for watching the stream. And yeah, I know like the whole copy trading thing is new to me, and so is the Fairdesk platform to a degree. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get everybody taken care of. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, my general recommendation is just to use all my settings, to not change anything. Thank you, Sean Daly. I really appreciate that, my brother. Let's see here. Tyler, Forex request. PYUSD. We trade in the Thai baht. Oh, this one's pretty simple. Excuse me one sec. I will be right back. Okay. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Thai baht to the United States dollar. Interesting. That's a volatile little bugger, isn't it? You trading them exotics, Tyler. I like it. Weekly. Weekly bearish, man. Really bearish. Like obviously short signal here, and then reversal baseline bounce setup here. You should be in a short, if not a doubled up short on this asset. On this currency pair, excuse me, it's not an asset. Daily time frame just confirms that, right? Look, yeah, again, we're just getting the short signal on today's daily bar. So not only do you have two potential weekly positions, you also have the daily position as of today as well. So let's just load that up. Yeah, invalidation at 0.028, and we're targeting 0.02. 83 81 and 79. Yep. Yeah, bearish, brother. I'll be moving to Thailand in the spring. Can keep assets in either currency. My man. Oh, you have to come see me before you leave. Let's see here. Sean Daly has a question. Do you agree with my strategy of upping my leverage? Do you agree with my strategy of upping my leverage because I have a very small account and I'm trying to grow it quickly? Plan is to lower the leverage after I get my account. Just made a 150 with my little $300 account. So listen, there's nothing wrong. Okay, so the question is, do I agree with using high leverage to grow your account? Okay, so let's be very clear about something. The leverage doesn't matter. Okay. All that matters is position size. So you're not, okay. So I know this sounds like convoluted and weird, but it's very important to think of it in the right way. Okay. Using leverage only allows you to take on larger position sizes by putting up less collateral, less margin. So this is inherently risky. So in general, no, I don't. The reason why is because I have seen so many traders blow out their accounts, especially newer traders trying to grow their account. You know, like I get it. This is what everybody wants from trading. They want to have, you know, quick results, right? Everybody wants quick results, whether it's, you know, 6-minute abs or, you know, 8-minute biceps. Like, but I'm telling you, man, like trading it's a wonderful thing. It's awesome. It's fun. It's, you know, I'm my own boss. Nobody tells me what to do. I make money watching numbers move on a screen, which is pretty awesome. But man, it just takes some time to grow your account. All right. And I always recommend doing it the right way. Now, there's nothing wrong with using leverage, okay? I have strategy accounts where I run like 25x leverage or even 50x leverage, but it's a very specialized signal, and it's a strategy that I've done extensive back testing on before I push the strategy live, and that I also, you know, traded with fictitious funds. So, I don't want to rain on your parade. I want you to do what you think is right. But man, I'm just telling you, especially when you're starting out and trying to grow your account, you know, you get some big wins, you know, you 2x your account and all that stuff, right? But with great power comes with I was going to say with great power comes great responsibility, but that's not what I'm trying to say. With great leverage comes great losses, right? Like big wins, big losses. And so here's what I'll say, I'll end this on a positive note. I don't think that there's anything wrong with using leverage. But the most important skill you're going to learn in trading is going to be risk management. That's what's going to allow you to keep your money. All right. Like you need to be a little bold, a little bit daring, a little bit lucky to make the money. But if you don't have risk management, you're not going to keep it. You're just going to give it all back to the market. And developing those healthy habits early is so important. So important. You know, like every trader that I know who's really successful has very healthy trading habits. So I don't think it's wrong, but as long as you're, you know, so if you're focusing on your risk management and you have very clear invalidation points, exit points, using your stop losses, all that stuff, fine. But I think you are going to get farther faster focusing on your strategy, nailing that down. And then once you nail your strategy down, you can start figuring out, okay, well, I know what my probability to win is, and I know what my profit factor is, or I know what my risk to reward ratio is. So I know how much I lose on a losing trade. I know how much I win on a winning trade. And once you know that, then you can scale your position sizes to match. Because the equation there is, if you know how often you win on average, your probability to win, and you know how much you win when you win and how much you lose when you win, then you can figure out, you have to go to like the law of large numbers and do some statistics, and you can figure out like, okay, well, this is the largest position size I can take such that I can have a 10 trade losing streak without blowing out my account or 50%ing my account. That's my rule, right? And for some strategies it's 30, right? Because you're just, you know, depending on how many trades your strategy takes, it's just like a little table you can use, right? Like, this is how many trades I take. Okay, well, then I need to be prepared. If you take 1,000 trades a year, you need to be prepared for like a 30 loss losing streak. You need to be able to, your account needs to be able to suffer 30 losing trades in a row. You know, it's 100 trades a year and probably a 10 loss losing streak, something like that. Good question. But thank you, man. I appreciate you watching. Thank you, Mr. Dragon's channel. I appreciate it, man. He said the Spider-Man quote is actually apt. I try to be apt. All right, guys. Oh, wait. There's one thing we didn't cover, and that's ApeCoin. ApeCoin. Right here. So this is an article that was just put out by Sand Trends on Santiment. And this is some analysis revealing that the supply of ape on it. So this is ApeCoin. The supply of ape on exchanges is the highest it's ever been, right? So more ape is on exchanges than ever before. And if we look at the network, we can see that realized profits and losses have also been spiking, indicating that traders are also completely underwater. And we have increasing transaction volume. So losses for APE holders near or at all-time highs, coinciding with a time in which there is a massive depositing frenzy of APE onto exchanges and increasing transaction volumes. It looks like APE investors are heading for the door. All right. So careful out there if you guys are thinking about taking any APE positions. And bearish sentiment within APE holders and towards NFT overall. What could it mean? It probably means price is going to move down. Mystery solved. All right, guys. Oh, sorry. You guys couldn't see that article, but here's the article. Sorry. Show this now. This is the amount of APE on supply. You can see how it's grown since May of 2023. And this is network realized profit and losses. Completely underwater. You can see that there's no realization of profits, like, except for this tiny little spike here. And increasing transaction volume. Okay. As prices is moving down. So yeah, I would be very careful about APE if you guys are holding on to APE. Looks like the hodlers are heading for the door. That's all it for today, guys. That is today's breaking Bitcoin market update. Thank you so much for joining me. We laughed, we cried. Hopefully we made a little bit of money. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, hot crypto tips, or death threats, please leave them in the comment section underneath the video. I will do my best to respond to them in a timely fashion. Keep the conversation going long after the show is over, guys. Join our Discord. It's completely free. Get involved, learn how to trade, post your strategies, and just get in the know, guys. Discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. Copy trade me for free on Fairdesk. Win when I win, lose when I lose. Link down in the description. Download my free guide, 5 mistakes holding you back from profitable trading. And if you're really looking to upgrade your trading, consider joining our premium trading group where you get access to our signals, mentoring, and community, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Same crypto time. Not same crypto time. We're a little variance on our time here, but I'm working on it, guys. But I will be back tomorrow, and we will see you then. All right, guys. Trade safely. Cheers now.